Think wealth is in these bills? The real secret is here. It's knowledge and the right mindset that build empires.
Mr. Okafo was one of the richest men in the village. He had built schools, hospitals, and even gave food to poor people. But now he was old and tired. His body was weak and his eyes had tears most times, not because of pain, but because of fear. Fear of what his sons would do after he died. He had 3 sons, Chake, Ibuka, and Santo. All of them were grown men. But Mr. Okafo wasn't sure if they were good men. He didn't know if they would care for his name and wealth or just fight and destroy everything he built. One evening, Mr. Okafo called his driver and whispered, "From tomorrow, tell everyone that I am blind and deaf. Let them believe I see and hear nothing." The driver was confused. But Mr. Okafo was serious. He sat in his big chair, closed his eyes, and pretended not to hear, even when people shouted. He wanted to see what his sons would do if they thought he couldn't watch or listen anymore. The first son was always acting like a good man. He wore fine clothes and smiled a lot, but inside had greed. The day he heard that their father was now blind and deaf, he said to himself, "Good, this is my time." He began going into the father's office, signing papers, and moving money from the family business into his own secret account. He even took one of the family lands and sold it without telling anyone. He came home with new cars, lying to everyone that he worked hard for them. Mr. Okafor was sitting by the window when he heard Chick shouting on the phone trying to sell more land. Tears came out of the old man's eyes, but he said nothing. He just looked up and said, "God, show me the heart of my sons." Buka, the second son, was quiet. He didn't show greed like Cheek, but when he saw that already taking money and land, he said, "If I don't take something now, I'll be left with nothing." So he joined his brother. They both started locking the father's office when no one was looking. They took money, sold shares, and even began planning how to sell the family mansion. Che told Ibuka, "Papa is blind and deaf. He won't know. Let's just enjoy our lives." But Mr. Okafo was seeing everything. He heard them laughing in his own house, sharing what they stole. His heart broke. The same boys he carried as babies were now stealing from him while he pretended not to see. Santo, the last son, was not like his brothers. He stayed close to their father every day. He helped clean his room, fed him food, and even wiped his mouth when he was tired. He believed his father was truly blind and deaf. Yet, he treated him with love. "Even if Papa doesn't know what I do, God knows," Santo would say. Many times he saw what his brothers were doing, but he stayed silent. He didn't want to fight or cause trouble in the house. He just kept praying for his father to live longer. One day, Stowe sat beside his father and said, "Papa, even if you can't hear me, I want you to know I love you. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to be happy." Now, the home was no longer sweet. Chick and Ibuka were always shouting at each other over who would take what. Santo stayed away from their fights. Their mother, Mrs. Okafor, watched in tears but didn't know what to say. Mr. Okafor sat in his chair daily, watching his family fall apart. Every evening, he would hold a small radio to his ear and pretend to enjoy music. But the radio wasn't on. He was just hiding his tears. Neighbors began to talk. Why are Mr. Okafor's sons selling everything? Has he truly lost his senses? The old man's heart kept breaking, but he still stayed quiet. He wanted to see how far his sons would go. Unknown to anyone, Mr. Okafo had installed small hidden cameras in the house long ago. One of his old workers helped him set them up. Every night, when everyone was asleep, Mr. Okafo would ask the driver to show him the videos. He saw his sons talking about selling his hospital. He saw them slap one of the old workers for asking questions. He even saw Shika insult his mother. That night, Mr. Okafor wept like a baby. "I gave them everything. How did I raise sons like this?" he cried. But when the driver asked if he would stop them, Mr. Okafor said, "Number, let them finish showing me their hearts." One day, she came up with an evil plan. He told Ibuka, "Let's write a fake will and say Papa signed it before he went blind. That way, we'll share everything now." Ibuka was scared at first, but Chick convinced him. They got someone to write the fake will. They used an old signature of their father and stamped it. Then they called a lawyer and said, "This is what our father wanted before he lost his eyes and ears." Mr. Okafor was right there in his chair when they brought the paper. He didn't move. He didn't speak. But inside his heart was shouting. Later that night, Mr. Okafo looked at the paper with the driver. "Even my signature is not safe with them," he said softly. He didn't sleep that night. He kept looking at the photo of his sons when they were still babies. Where did I go wrong? Stowe found out about the fake wheel. He was so angry. He shouted at his brothers for the first time. "You people are not human. How can you do this to Papa while he's still breathing? Even if he can't talk, he's still our father." But Chick slapped him. "Shut up. You're the last born. Who are you to speak here? I pulled him away. Let him back like a dog. We have what we want already. Stowe ran to his father's room crying. He knelt beside him. Papa, please forgive them. Forgive us. I wish I was older. I wish I had power to stop them. Mr. Okafo didn't say a word, but a tear dropped from his eye. Some quickly wiped it. You felt that? He asked. But Mr. Okafo just kept quiet. Sheikh and Ibuka called a big family meeting. They invited uncles, aunties, and even the village chief. They stood up and told everyone, "This is our father's final will. We will now divide everything." The chief asked, "Did he say this with his own mouth?" Chick answered, "He can't talk anymore, but he wrote it before." Mr. Okafo was sitting at the side pretending to sleep. Some was watching in pain. When they opened the fake wheel, even some uncles knew something wasn't right, but they kept quiet because of money. The chief gave his blessing. May the family not break. But deep inside the family was already broken. That night, after the meeting, Mr. Okafo cried alone. He locked the door and told the driver, "I can't hold this anymore. My heart is weak. I feel like dying, but I want to see the end." The driver begged him, "Please, sir, don't give up. Samto still loves you." Mr. Okafo nodded. Yes, only him. Only Santu stayed true. That night, Mr. Okafo wrote a reel. He gave everything to Santu, the companies, the lands, and the family name. But he said, "Keep it hidden. I'll reveal it at the right time." Stowe couldn't take the pain anymore. He packed his bag and told his father, "I will come back, but I need to go far and find peace. I'm scared I may hurt my brothers if I stay longer." Mr. Okafo wanted to stop him, but he kept quiet to finish the test. He watched his last son walk out in tears. Samto left the house and went to stay with his uncle in another town. He worked at a small pharmacy, sending money to take care of the home from far away. Even though his father was blind, he still sent money every month. He never stopped being a good son. With Stowe gone, Chick and Ibuka had no one to stop them. They sold the last family land. They fired loyal workers. They closed the school their father built and turned it into a beer parlor. Neighbors began to call their names. "These boys are destroying their father's name," people said. But they didn't care. One day, Ibuka got into a fight with Chick over money. Chick had taken more than him. Ibuka shouted, "You want to take everything alone." Chick replied, "If you're not happy, leave. I don't need you." That day, I moved out. The family was now fully divided. The pain became too much. Mr. Okafo started getting sick. He stopped eating well. He became thin and weak. One evening, he told the driver, "Call Samto. Tell him I need to see him one last time. I'm ready to speak." The driver called Samto. As soon as he heard the news, Santa left everything and rushed home. When he entered his father's room, he knelt down and cried, "Papa, I'm here. Please don't die." For the first time in 1 year, Mr. Okafo spoke. His voice was weak but clear. "My son, I was never blind. I was never deaf. I saw everything." Santo's eyes opened wide. You heard all," I said. "You saw all they did." Mr. Okafo nodded slowly. "Yes, my son. I just wanted to know your true heart." Swanto cried deeply. "Papa, why? Why put yourself through so much pain?" Mr. Okafo held his hand to know who truly loves me. Mr. Okafo called for another family meeting. He told the driver, "Invite everyone again, my sons, my brothers, the chief." When they all came, he stood up slowly from his chair. Everyone was shocked. Papa can stand. He can talk. Chick and Ibuka were frozen. Mr. Okafo looked at them and said, "I am not blind. I am not deaf. I saw all your wickedness. I heard all your plans and I wept every night. The room became quiet like you had." Mr. Okafo brought out the real will. "This is my true voice. Everything I own I give to Samto, the only son who stayed true, who served me with love even when he thought I couldn't see or hear." Chick jumped up. "You can't do that," I shouted. "You're making a mistake." But the chief stood up and said, "Let the old man speak. This is justice." Mr. Okafo looked at them with sadness. "You stole, you lied, you beat your brother, and now you rip what you planted." Chick and Ibuka were disgraced. The companies they tried to steal were returned. Their names were removed from every document. Friends they had while they had money now left them. They begged Mr. Okafo, "Please forgive us." He looked at them and said, "I forgive you, but I won't forget." He gave them small money to start a new life, but warned them, "If you ever touch my name again, I will take you to court." Stowe became the head of the house. He reopened the school, repaired the hospital, and brought back old workers. He made the family name respected again. People began to call him the son who saved the father's soul. Even though he had power, he stayed humble. He gave food to the poor, just like his father used to. He said, "This wealth is not mine. It is a blessing I must protect." Mr. Okafo, now happy and peaceful, spent his last days watching Santo build the family back. He told him, "My son, you have done well. I can now rest." One night he called Santo, smiled softly and said, "Thank you for loving me when you thought I couldn't love back." Then he closed his eyes and passed away. Some wept like a baby, but he knew his father was finally free. At Mr. Okafor's burial, the whole village came, even people from other towns. Everyone heard the story how a father acted blind and deaf to know the hearts of his children. Some stood up and said, "If your love only works when someone is watching, then it is not love. My father taught me that." And from that day, people began to teach their children. Be like some love with your heart even when nobody is watching. Lesson of this story is the way you treat people who can't talk or fight back shows your true heart. Greed may look sweet at first, but it brings shame in the end. Love is not what you say, but what you do even when no one is watching. Sometimes silence is the biggest test a parent can give. Lies can win for a while, but truth will always speak louder at the end. If this story touched your heart, don't just go. Please hit the subscribe button now. Here on African Tales by Favorite, we share stories that teach, touch, and heal. Let's keep our African values alive, one powerful story at a time.